Just three radio hosts on air, dumb debating.
It is Dumb Debates time here on the Grum, where you get to submit your questions to us, and then we tackle them at our leisure. You can send them to us in the Equitable Bank inbox, John at 1620thezone.com, Josh at 1620thezone.com, Nick at 1620thezone.com.
You got so scared.
At Equitable, we take banking personally and answer the phone on the first ring.
He's dead, Josh. He can't hurt you.
No, he's alive. He just celebrated his birthday, Nick. You absolute jerk. Sheesh.
Also, you can tweet your dumb debates into the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed at USC1620. Use the hashtag dumb debate.
I saw this on Twitter over the weekend. And no, wait, I saw it 2 days ago when it happened.
Wow, liar.
Yeah, John wrote, John is a runner. Hell yeah, John. You want to come on my podcast?
Oh, is this your third burner now? You have a problem.
No, this was, will Pete Rose now be inducted into the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame? I assume the lifetime ban has now been expired. Get it?
Oh, because life.
Dead.
It's not a death time
That's
ban.
a very cruel way to describe it, but
I found
obviously it's not. You know, if you want more of an explanation, check out Mike Farron's segment yesterday.
Yes,
True.
Indeed. Yes,
I don't think
indeed.
he's getting in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I don't either. All right, let's get to actual.
This is
debates.
important, or not important, but this is timely given that the weather has just been, now today better, but the last month was very warm.
Yes.
Very warm. So
Tomorrow's
Jordan,
going to be almost 100.
Yesterday was great.
No, wait, Saturday. Saturday's going to be almost 100.
Yesterday made me so happy. It was sweater weather all day. I wore my sweater.
Yep, not tomorrow.
I love that sweater.
Jordan
Saturday.
says, is it hotter than balls or hotter than hell?
I like hotter than balls.
Right, but I think hell is hotter than how hot balls get. Like, balls can't get as hot as hell.
No.
I mean,
There's different
If
tiers
they
of hot.
did, your groin would burn off.
yeah, everything would burn.
You would
off.
And
melt.
you'd be dead.
Because I imagine hell.
It'd be like melting in a nuclear holocaust.
I
There
guess
you
it
go.
depends on which
Nice.
circle of hell you're in, because there's some circles that are
No,
like really
it's
cold.
No, they're not. What?
Different circles of hell.
Well,
The Divine Comedy.
that's not real though. That was a book. That's not the Bible.
Some people could argue that the Bible is a book.
Yes, okay, fair, Nick. But Divine Comedy was
it is
not
a book.
like given from God. It was somebody's interpretation of hell.
That's fair.
Yeah,
Jo-
I've always
Josh
imagined-
is pulling the preacher's kid card on you.
yeah.
so
I know what I'm
Son
talking
of a
about here,
preacher,
Nick.
man.
do not deny him.
I think
I
that
acquiesce.
said, the more fun one to say is hot as balls.
Hot as balls is way more fun.
Yeah, because it's like, oh, that's so hot. I think of
Yeah.
myself at the College World Series and my sweaty backside.
Yeah. I'm going to do
Nice.
a trio of questions that were sent in
Trio.
by Star Wars Fiend, or as I like to call him, Jar Jar Binks.
Mm-hmm.
You have the last pick for your softball team, and you're down to
Wow.
either Jack Mitchell or Nick.
Uh-oh.
Who do you take and why?
Jack, because he actually played sports growing up. No offense, Nick.
I played football.
He did.
But Jack has hit a ball before.
I've also hit a ball twice.
He did.
Yeah, but that didn't happen until like the last 2 months.
Nick is also younger and more spry.
Wow.
I'm a young spry boy.
The young
Spot the
spry
lie.
boy. No, there's no lie
Jack
detected there.
literally started this team so he could be the manager he never intended to play.
Fair point.
Kind of like Pete Rose when he became the player manager of the Reds.
Are you saying he's been betting against his team?
I mean, look at how badly they've been getting throttled, and I'm guessing Jack's been probably betting against his own team. I'm
Also going with Jack.
I'm going to go with Nick because I think I can work with him. I think I can mold him into something
Wow.
that could be a productive ball player.
John's going to be my
Jack
Darth
and
Vader.
his age and rapidly deteriorating body.
Wow.
I got a message from somebody.
I trust. I think I can keep Nick going more.
Got a message from somebody that says Team Never Jack.
Team Never Jack.
Yeah, wow.
Also,
Ooh.
I'm a contact hitter. I would always make contact.
Famously.
Not always. Most, like 80% of the time, I would make contact. I only
Mm.
struck out like 3 times.
Star Wars Fiend also asked, the Halloween franchise was not a horror movie, but actually a long family drama that lasted over 40 years.
That's a fun way to describe it.
Is Jason the name?
No,
of the
that's
guy?
Michael Myers.
That's Friday
Myers.
the 13th that you're thinking of.
Sorry, I
Jason
get them-
Voorhees.
I get all the slashers confused. The slashers don't do anything for me.
Wow.
I don't like
Not
slasher
even
movies.
the OG Halloween.
No, they're so boring.
I
to
like
me.
the OG
They're
Halloween.
so
The
boring.
OG
to me.
Halloween is, I mean, by later standards, very tame for a slasher.
Right,
It
and
is.
it's not even that it's a
I like it for
slashing-
the story.
It's not even
I
that
like
it's
the story too.
It's a good story.
like a slashing thing. The story doesn't even do a whole lot to me. I like more of the psychological stuff. Like we watched Alien for the first
girl
time.
is getting obsessed over by a serial killer. That's
Yeah,
that's
that's
very
pretty
psychological.
yeah.
But not in
Psychological.
the way that I want. Like Alien. I really liked Alien
Okay.
when we watched that for the first time. I like Get Out,
Yeah.
movies like that.
Oh,
Knives Out, I
Reminder.
really liked.
we have our movie coming up.
Yeah.
Ready or Not.
Have you watched it yet?
No.
When are you doing it?
You
I
gotta
don't
watch
know.
it, John. It's 80 minutes.
It's only Wednesday for crying out loud. I
Yeah.
don't normally
And then
watch it.
tomorrow's Thursday, and then it's
What do you
movie
mean? You're
club.
usually working like 2 or 3 weeks in advance. You probably already watched whatever your
Oh,
next pick is.
Yeah, whenever
No.
John picks a movie about fly fishing or whatever, he watches that the weekend before.
Butt hurt over here.
That
It
was a-
wasn't a good movie.
Yeah, that movie sucked.
You've picked some pretty bad stinkers too.
I think most of my picks have been good.
no,
Nah.
they have not.
I've got a good batting average.
I like this philosophy though. It is kind of a family.
It definitely is, yeah, because she was related to Jace or to no, damn it, Nick. She was related to Michael. I don't remember the exact relationship.
Yeah, I don't either.
Sam says, wait, that guy tweeted the Halloween family drama thing into Happer today as well. We're getting leftovers on the Grum.
Oh,
Hand me
no.
down, dumb debate.
Wait a minute.
Sloppy
Wait a
seconds.
minute.
Come on,
They
Star
don't
Wars
do
fiend.
dumb debates. We do.
Yeah,
dumb
but they
debates.
do the
The
tweet
opinion
bag.
and the opinion thing today.
That- yeah.
I have an opinion.
I have an opinion. This is
Unbelievable.
unreal.
Stolen
All right, what was
valor.
the other one then? I bet this
Is
was
there
probably
one more?
stolen too.
Was Han Solo lying when he said he made the Kessel Run in 12 parsecs? Given the black holes he navigated, this was a shorter route and not the actual true Kessel Run.
Oh, I don't.
Well,
that's-
did you watch the Solo movie?
Yeah, didn't he do it in the Solo
yeah,
movie?
that's the bit.
Have you ever seen the Solo movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
But also,
liked it.
Han Solo
was
loved
fun.
to embellish the truth anyway. That's what he did.
He's a
He-
dirtbag.
That's why him and Lando
liar.
were besties because they
Yeah.
did the same thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's the Jim Harbaugh of the Star Wars universe.
I mean, if the black hole is
He's
in
better
the
than
Kessel
Jim.
Run, it's part of the course. It's like it's shortcuts that you had in video games. You know, just to get it.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
that's
not in a
shortcut.
marathon, I would never do that.
He speed ran it and he found an
Rosie
exploit.
Ruiz did it famously in a Boston
I
Marathon,
heard
and she
about
got
this.
away with it. If it hadn't been for you dumb kids.
Oh, you go.
I have one. I got this from a tweet, and there's a visual element to it.
Okay.
This was tweeted by Tony Pike. He said, "Healthy discussion with my son happening right now. Size scale aside, who's winning this?" And then there's a bunch of action figures of his sons.
So we're talking a battle royal here.
For the
between-
listeners who don't get access to the video, let's describe what is
or for
on-
those of you who need to switch tabs over from the porn that you're watching.
Thank you for watching it.
Also, do you need me to talk in a different tone?
Nice.
Would that help you?
All right, so what are these creatures that we have here?
From left to right, you got Godzilla, Spider-Man, King Kong, Hulk, Darth Vader, Groot, and Venom.
By the way, Nicholas points out that Laurie Strode was not related to Michael. The official storyline goes Halloween 78, then Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills, and Halloween Ends. John Carpenter even stated that they weren't related. For some reason, I thought they were related. Must be remembering.
Well,
wrong.
but then Michael Myers later came back and haunted her or Laurie's family.
Yeah,
so,
so, yeah, I
it's
guess
a
it
family story. It's good
Oh,
enough for
put
me.
it back up,
We'll
Nick.
put about.
Well, because we weren't talking about it.
I mean, this is
Darth Vader.
No, this is very
He has
easy.
the Force. Who is it?
Why
Oh,
do you-
wait. Godzilla
It's
is
Godzilla.
huge. Never
and
mind. It's
It's
Godzilla.
whoever wins between Godzilla and King Kong.
I originally
That's a movie.
was kind of thinking Hulk because Hulk is dummy strong and also has radiation.
He's too
But
tiny.
He's tiny baby. Godzilla's
It's me,
very,
tiny
very strong.
Hulk.
Plus, he got the fire and the lasers.
Yeah, we
Somebody-
watched those movies.
I found an argument in these tweets about Venom, and I think Venom is good.
No, Venom is not. The
Venom
answer.
is a symbiotic alien, right? It takes over whatever it gets
Sure.
inside of. So what if it gets inside of a Godzilla? Then you have
well,
Venom Godzilla.
I guess it's hard to argue.
Well, then
that.
Godzilla's still winning because it's still Godzilla.
I guess.
It's just that they've joined forces.
Hmm.
I think it's. I mean, yes, I would like to pick Darth Vader. He's my guy.
He's got force powers,
But-
John. Force powers.
But would he have enough? Would he have enough force to manipulate
Darth Vader
both King Kong and Godzilla? Who he'd have to eliminate both of them.
Darth Vader is crazy strong.
Yeah. Stibbs points out Groot can grow back. He
What
never
is
died.
Groot?
From
I'm
Guardians of the
Groot.
Galaxy. He's like
Never saw
he's
it.
a tree alien.
Never saw it.
Yeah, well, you're an idiot.
Yeah. It's true.
That was back when the Marvel movies were good.
Guardians of the Galaxy is amazing.
Marvel movies are like SNL. It used to be good. Now it's not anymore.
It's fair.
Probably still funnier than SNL.
Nice.
I'm still going with the winner between Godzilla and King Kong.
Yeah, I think Godzilla's a fine pick, John. I'll go with you there.
I think
Either one. I think King Kong can beat
Stibbs,
Godzilla.
you're triggered, bro. That was just for you.
I think King Kong can beat Godzilla.
Yeah.
He's a bad mamma jamma.
How about this from Chris
Got that ape strength.
with a K?
With like bigger ape strength.
but Hulk has Hulk strength.
Would you rather
Hulk's tiny baby.
keep your immune system as it is now and get sick on occasion with a cold and the flu from time to time, or 1 week every year, the same week, get hospitalized with the flu, but 1,000% healthy the rest of the year?
So the very first thing he described is just me.
That's what he's
just how
saying.
I am. Yeah.
No, that's what he's saying. So would you rather you just live your life like you normally do right now? You're sick occasionally, you deal with the sniffles, you lose your voice maybe a little bit, or 1 week and it's the same week every year. I assume we can decide what week it is. It's horrible to the point of hospitalization, but otherwise you're fine.
I don't want to go to the hospital.
Yeah. Have you seen healthcare costs?
Yeah, a week
Thanks a
long
lot, Biden.
Oh, interesting that healthcare prices aren't
Yeah.
affordable
Thanks,
in
thanks,
America.
Joe Biden.
In
A
America.
week-
Thanks, Joe Biden.
A week
Interesting.
long hospital stay would kill you financially. And they're not going to admit you to a room right away. You would have to go to the ER if
Damn
you're
it.
that sick.
So is the answer the other one? Because I want to say I'll go to the hospital.
I don't want to go to the hospital.
I can't afford to go to the hospital.
But
You wouldn't be able to plan your meals. It'd be disrupted. You have to eat what they give you.
man, I could plan it around not getting sick around marathons, which would be nice. It's a concern over the next week and a half. What if I get sick? I don't want to get sick now. It's the worst time.
You deal with it.
Yeah, I guess I'll just deal with it myself. I'll just be me.
Maybe just don't have such a wimpy immune system.
I guess that's true. Dirty Mark and the Boys writes, the millennials are great and old should go away lyric has expired. Josh is now 36, and that is more than halfway to 70. He has officially become an old. Hashtag dumb debates.
I mean, you can be an old and a millennial.
Well, yeah,
Because
you're
millennial's
always
just a
going to be a
generation.
millennial because it's the generation you were born in.
Correct.
Unfortunately,
I
I'm
will always
a
be
Z.
Gen X.
Yeah.
Nick will always be Gen Worst.
Nice. Got it. Yeah. So, yeah, I do have older opinions now, though. People say that
He
I
does.
have-
Nick has taken over as the youth of the program.
Yeah, it really did kind of happen overnight.
It
We
happened
hired a
very quickly.
We hired a 25-year-old, and
I was
then
24.
we hired a 24-year-old, and suddenly I became old.
Yeah, it did happen.
And then remember when I aged out of the 25 to 34 bracket, and I
You were
got
so
very
excited.
excited because then I could click the older bracket on websites. How old are you? Not 25 anymore. That's for damn sure. You'll understand, Nick. It's fun to be in your 30s.
Is it?
I like being in my 30s. I'm having a great time.
Congrats on having a great time.
Yeah, we'll see what happens when I turn 40. But
I
I'm
don't
hoping it's
remember.
not
I
an
don't
existential
remember.
crisis like it is for some
No.
people.
John, what was your midlife crisis like?
Yeah, when are you getting a motorcycle, John?
Or
I'm
a
never getting a
red
motorcycle.
Corvette?
Oh, nice.
I've always wanted a Corvette.
Well,
I love Corvettes.
Me too.
Corvettes are.
just sell your grill
Awesome.
deck.
No one's going to buy my grill deck.
By the way, the Royals had the bases juiced. Oh, and now they don't anymore because the inning is over. Wow, that was a bad strikeout.
Well, this game's taking considerably longer than yesterday's.
Yes, it is. It will not be over by the time the Grum is done.
Well, but remember, it also started a half hour later.
That's true.
than yesterday's.
Mike writes in, topic alert. This is the one that was hashtag dumb debate. In Mandel's mailbag, a Wisconsin fan writes, in talking about the painful rebuild the Badgers are going through. So I guess dumb debates. Which team has gone through the most painful rebuild
It's painful.
or are
Painful.
still in one?
It's painful.
What is the of? And I guess I'm going to view this through like historic powers of college football. Which was the most painful rebuild?
Was Alabama? Alabama used to kind of suck before Saban, right?
Not
Ye-
that bad.
Yeah,
though.
it wasn't that bad. They won a natty in 92, then they won one in 09. So that was 17
Okay.
years, which is long for their standards. And they had some rough years in there. They were more of a joke, like where they would have weird. They got in trouble with the NCAA a lot, but they were still solid enough.
This
Like,
is
they
a-
didn't have a Nebraska-like stretch right now. Where
This
they're
is a very tough question
yeah.
because everything's so relative. It's like rebuild to what? Are we talking rebuild to being a national title team
Rebuilt to
or
just
contender?
a bowl team.
I mean,
Sam writes Minnesota was a dynasty through the 60s and then never got it back.
right. See, that's the other thing is, I mean, so a rebuild, doesn't the rebuild story have to end at some point?
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, is Minnesota really trying to rebuild something that last happened over 60 years ago? I think at some point there's like a statute of limitations that exists where it's like you are who you are. They used to be great, like the Army, right? The Army used to be a national title contender all the time.
It's just those days are over now.
Those days are now over. It's like official. It's done.
Yeah.
So to me, rebuild, you almost have to define it as we're great, fell off, return to greatness so that you can actually define the window.
Okay.
Now, if you want to take that out for a second, if you look at the historic timelines of we'll call them the historic football powers, and we'll use the modern power, or the ones we identify today.
Okay.
Arguably, Nebraska right now is going through
the lowest of the lows.
Well, not the lowest of the lows, but a very long, protracted rebuild, which, and we've talked about this many times, is moving with each passing year closer and closer to Minnesota, which is, it's no longer a rebuild anymore. You just are who you are.
They exist in
You're
this
not
current,
that program anymore.
They exist in this current state. Yeah, like Oklahoma. So their lows, they had that stretch in the 90s, and it is only 4 years.
Correct.
They were 5-5-1, 3-8, 4-8, 5-6. And then they got Bob Stoops, and they won a national championship in year 2. And they have finished the season ranked in all but 3 seasons since then. Like, think about that. So, like, their low seems like, oh my gosh, Oklahoma. And, like, it is also sandwiched around being ineligible to go to bowl games and just not being as great as they had been. But still, they were a very, very good football team for the most part. Whereas Nebraska is stuck in this extended, I mean, it's not even a malaise anymore. Like you said, the day by day, they get closer to what Minnesota currently is.
I mean, if we were just to define this, and let's just take the top 10, because that will include Nebraska, the top 10 winningest programs in college football history, throwing out the Yale and the Harvard because that's not FBS. Michigan.
Theirs was pretty bad.
Well, but
it wasn't that long.
It really wasn't. And Michigan's a weird, because despite the fact that they're the winningest program, they have very little national championships, officially what I would call recognized championships. Cedric Mullins is homered, and it's 1-1 now. The Orioles have finally scored in that series. So Michigan's weird because in the official AP era of national championships, they've only won 3, which is weird for a program that's the only program to win 1,000 games. Alabama.
So I'm looking at it right now. Alabama's seasons, and it was usually sandwiched around fine seasons. So they went 4-7 in 1997. Then they went 7-5, 10-3. Then they went 3-8. Then they went 7-5, 10-3. Then they went 4-9. Then they went 6-6, 10-2, 6-7. Then they fired Shula, and then they hired Saban. So like even theirs are. It's never an extended period of time. Wow. So is the answer to this question Nebraska?
I'm afraid it is.
Well, I mean, Notre Dame is a good example. I know they have not won a national championship in recent years, but
over 30 years.
But you know, with
36 years.
Yeah, since my birth year, 1988. But they have many sub 500 seasons in the post Lou Holtz era. 5-7, 5-6, 5-7, 3-9, 6-6. Brian Kelly famously went 4-8. But again, they don't go. The longest that Notre Dame goes since Lou Holtz without finishing ranked is 5 years. 5 years. So think about that. Notre Dame, for like, as I was growing up, I was like, wow, they just kind of stink. They're not what they used to be. And yet they finished 06 ranked, and then they were a top 5 team again in 2012. So even Notre Dame only had a 5-year downtrodden period, whereas Nebraska has not made a bowl game. The good comment from Jordan a few moments ago, where he said Nebraska, even just rebuilding to a 9-win team, has been 8 years. Yeah, that's
true.
Part.
That is true.
Yeah.
By the way, since Notre Dame started winning national titles, this is easily their longest drought.
Oh yeah.
But they have played for a couple since then.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the last 23 years, Nebraska has played for none.
Yeah, they played for 1-1, and that is the last time. Travis says Tennessee post 1998. See, but now they have found themselves again. They have gotten back to being a good program yet again.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good one. Crap, I think Nebraska's.
I mean, what you're hoping for is that eventually, and you've got to define it. When do you define the rebuild is over?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, Miami is another good example, but their rebuild has not ended.
The crazy thing is, Nebraska has the second most conference championships in college football history, only behind Oklahoma, and haven't won one since 1999.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That they've gone this long.
I remember when I was in college and you look up on the stadium and it has the list of all of the conference championships. And I remember noticing like, wow, so there's none in the 50s, but then every decade in the history of the program always had at least one in every era. And so when they made the Big 12 championship game in 2009, that was their last chance to get one in that decade. And of course, they miss out on it by a second. And then they make it back the next year, and they make it back in 2012, and they don't win it. And so it's like from 1962 onward, from the 60s onward, they had won at least one conference title in every single decade. And now they have gone, this is 25 years. 25 years.